Hey everyone, it's Miranda. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hey, for the first time, why don't you subscribe, become the newest member of the Slashed Squad. We're not always in my kitchen, but today we're gonna be trying out some DIY makeup recipes that I found here on YouTube, and then we're gonna do a full face of DIY makeup. We've got a recipe for foundation, eyeliner, mascara, bronzer, highlighter, and lipstick. I think that's everything. So let's start cooking because I have a feeling this is gonna be a lengthy video. So I think the DIY mascara is going to be the most time consuming of all of these recipes. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with that. For the DIY mascara, you're gonna need some almonds and some petroleum jelly or Vaseline. The first step is to pour some boiling water over these almonds to get the outer layer off. So let's go ahead and whip up a tea kettle of water. Do you guys see this in the background? That is my cat on top of my refrigerator. Okay, ooh, that's hot. We've got boiling water. I'm gonna pour the boiling water over the almonds as per the instructions. Okay, so pouring the water, just totally submerging them. And then I just think we wait a little bit, obviously, for the water to cool down because I'm gonna dip my hands in there to start peeling the almond skin off. Okay, it's been a hot minute. The water is a little bit warm, but not boiling anymore. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start taking off the skin. And you can see now that it's been boiled with these almonds, you can kind of just scratch at them and the skin starts coming off. So that's what we want to do. I don't know if they sell skinless almonds. That would probably be a nice little shortcut for this DIY. Okay, so after they're peeled, you just want to chop them roughly to kind of make the next step a little bit easier, just like that, not too big or small, whatever. And we are just gonna go ahead and put them into a pan. And we're basically just gonna toast these until they burn. So keep your eye on them, but basically we're just gonna leave them in there until they are completely black. So I'm just gonna kind of spread them out a little bit. The video that I watched said this could take up to 30 minutes to get them completely black. So yeah, I'm gonna be checking in periodically, but with movie magic, you'll see them black in just a second. So here we are now. This actually did not take all that long. This maybe took about 15 minutes total, and we have all of these pieces completely pitch black. So now we're gonna put them in a bowl. And now that they're in our bowl, we want to crush them. Eventually, when you crush them fine enough, they're gonna turn into a paste. So just keep at it, kind of crushing them as much as you can. So basically the goal is to just not have any really hard pieces left where they've all been crushed. And I'm starting to get that paste consistency now. So this is kind of what it looks like now. It's almost like wet coffee grounds. That's the best way I can explain what the texture is. Now using the same saucepan, I'm going to put this in a water bath. So what that means is I'm gonna fill this with a little bit of water and put the bowl inside, and that will warm the contents of the bowl up slowly as opposed to just warming this up like in the microwave where it's kind of too rapid. Okay, so at this point, the bowl is getting pretty warm and the contents, like the almonds, they're not exactly melting, but they feel kind of like they're softening. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the Vaseline now. And I'm not sure really how much to add because this particular video did not have any measurements, but I'm just gonna sort of wing it. Okay, so petroleum jelly is starting to melt. We're getting more of a liquidy consistency. I'm just a little concerned because I feel like there's still gonna be like chunks in this. Kind of trying to just pat down with my spoon to get any other larger chunks out, but I don't know, I just feel like it's gonna be a really weird and chunky texture. All right, so here's our mascara. It's looking real chunky, but we'll go ahead and put it in the container. All right, we've got our mascara. Okay, so our next DIY recipe also calls for almonds, but this one seems to be a little bit easier, hopefully. So for the eyeliner, we just need some almonds as well as some almond oil, and that's literally the whole recipe. But we're gonna need a little fire to get things started. Okay, don't try this at home without adult supervision, at your own risk, etc., don't sue me. In the video that I watched of somebody doing this, they literally just held up the almond and then took a lighter and started singeing the outside of the almond until it turns black. I wonder if this would be easier if I like put it in a bowl. Ooh, don't want it to be on fire. So I'm just kind of like going back and forth trying to get as much soot as possible on the outside of this almond. Okay, I think I'm done burning almonds. All right, the next step is we have to scrape the black off of the almond. So I'll zoom you down for that now. Ooh, it's still hot, so be careful. Oh, okay, this is actually scraping off a lot easier than I thought. I'm literally just taking a knife to it and getting all the black stuff off. I feel like in the video it only showed them doing this with one almond, but I don't know. So now, this is what I have from that one almond. I'm hoping that that's gonna be enough for, you know, one use. I'm not looking to, you know, make a whole supply of this. So now I'm gonna take some almond oil and drop it in. I'm using a cuticle pusher as a mixing tool today. This is what it looks like so far. I think I wanna add a little bit more oil to get it to be a little smoother, but overall, I think that's good. So I've got one of these little containers I got at the dollar store, and I'm just gonna put this in there. It's hardly gonna fill it up, but it'll be fine for just holding onto it. So that's our eyeliner that we'll use a little bit later. All right, so I'm very excited to make my own foundation. Here's the thing though, this recipe came from a video that was not in English, but it listed out the ingredients and the measurements, so hopefully there wasn't some big thing that I missed because the video wasn't in English. But yeah, let's just give it a shot. Okay, to start the foundation, you want a moisturizer base. I'm actually gonna use this Clear Complexion face sunscreen. I feel like we really need something on the thicker side for this to work. So this is gonna be about 3 teaspoons is what the woman in the video said. I'm gonna leave it at that because I'm not trying to make like a month's supply. And I actually really like this face sunscreen from Walgreens. Not sponsored. Anyway, then we wanna do half a teaspoon of cornstarch. We're also gonna do half a teaspoon of cocoa powder. This is 100% natural unsweetened. This is what we're gonna start using for the actual coloring of the foundation. I don't want to use too much. She said half a teaspoon, but she was also Indian and darker than me, so I think that should be okay. And then she used a pinch of turmeric, and I'm assuming this is to help with the undertone of the foundation, and I do have a little bit of yellowness to my skin, so I'm gonna go ahead and start with that, and then we can always obviously add more color if we need it. It feels dry almost. I think I might have put a little too much cornstarch, or we need some more moisturizer for sure. Ooh, it's turning into like a moussey texture. I'm sure whatever the texture is gonna be will depend on the moisturizer that you use as the base. This is gonna need a little more color for my skin. So I did a swatch, and it's not too far off. It might be a little bit yellow. I might have added a little too much turmeric, so I might add some more cocoa powder to offset that. So I'm rubbing this in just to kind of see where we're at shade-wise, and it's got a pretty heavy yellow cast. I think I put too much turmeric in there, so I'm gonna add some more cocoa powder to the mix. Okay, let's see what this looks like as I start to rub it in. That's so dark. I'm gonna cause a scandal. And it's still, as you rub it in, you're getting like this weird yellow cast. I think I'm gonna add a little bit more cornstarch just to see what happens. Oh no, that was way too much. Oh no. It betrayed me. Okay, I'm gonna try to scoop a little bit of this out. See, this is like making it a weird texture because that's what cornstarch does. But like I want it to be thicker when it's put on, you know what I mean? Like I want it to actually give me coverage. Oh, I feel like we're getting more coverage now that we added the cornstarch, like more of it. It's still a very odd color on my skin. I think I'm gonna end up looking like I have jaundice, but I think that's all we can really do. So I'm gonna put it in one of these little containers, clearly made way more than we're ever gonna need ever. That is our foundation. Okay, next up is highlighter. Now highlighter was one of those DIYs that I could not find a recipe that didn't involve already made makeup. Basically all the DIY highlighter recipes used eyeshadow as highlighter, whether you're crushing it up and repressing it or mixing together different shades. So I feel like it's a little bit of a cop-out, but I really could not find another DIY recipe that didn't do this. What I'm gonna do though, just to make it a little bit more interesting, I picked up these two shimmering loose shadows from my dollar store. They're from LA Colors. One is in the shade Grape Jelly. It's like a very shimmery purple, and then one is this bright shimmery white. I'm gonna mix them together to hopefully create kind of like a white highlight with a little bit of a purple undertone. So we're gonna press this into a pressed highlighter and hopefully we'll get something a little bit cool. Okay, so for the highlighter, we literally just need the loose shadow, or if you wanna use a pressed shadow, just make sure you kind of scrape it out of whatever container it's in. And then we need alcohol, which is gonna help us press it. Shush. The other thing you're gonna need is an empty container. This was from a $1 blush that I got, and we just need some. Vera, do you really need to be meowing right now? Like I was saying, you just need a container to put in your highlighter. Now I do want the majority to be this white shade. Wow, this is really annoying packaging to try to decant. Okay, that was a total nightmare, but this is about as much as I'm gonna get out of that little thing. So now I'm gonna add a little bit of the purple for maybe a lavender undertone. Maybe like that. Maybe a little tiny bit more, but we're already getting a lot of that undertone that I was looking for. That's, oh my gosh, why? Okay, so now we just add some alcohol to this. And again, this was like not a recipe that had measurements. It was just kind of go with the flow. But I know we want this to be a little bit pasty. Ooh, okay, I'm so excited because I think this is gonna be a really pretty highlighter. Ugh, that alcohol has a very strong smell. This is definitely not a lot of product. Like, I don't know if it's really gonna fill out that pan, but oh my God, I really hope this turns out because I really love the color I made. Okay, so now we're gonna kind of smooth it out. Oh my gosh, this is barely gonna be enough at all. Okay, that's looking better. Okay, so I'm just gonna let this dry. I kind of wanna do a test swatch. Ooh, okay, that's gonna be so pretty. Okay, we have 2 more products left. I'm getting kind of tired. My house smells like burnt almonds. Let's get into bronzer and then lipstick. Okay, for bronzer, we're gonna use our other empty compact here. This one's also kind of vague. It's not really a lot of measurements. So this one calls for a spoonful of cocoa powder. Seems about right. A pinch of cinnamon. Ooh, I don't want it to be too warm. I feel like this is gonna be kind of warm, but okay. And then literally just alcohol to start making it a mix that we can press. I do not like the smell of this. It is just not pleasant. Okay, so now I'm putting that in our pan here, trying to get that nice and even. And then something that our CL Beauty did was she took a paper towel and closed it onto the formula to help soak up some of the excess alcohol. So this is another one that's gonna need to dry a little bit. So I'm gonna put that with the highlighter and just let it turn into a powder we can use a brush on. All right, so the bronzer is drying. Now all we have left to do is lipstick. This was another recipe where you kind of need an eyeshadow, the color of the lipstick you wanna make, unless you want to get into crayons and all that business. So I didn't want to, so I have this old ColourPop eyeshadow. This is in the shade Tang. It's kind of like a mauvey pinky brown shade. I think it would look really pretty as a lipstick, so that's what I'm gonna be using. Let's start this last DIY. Okay, so for the lipstick, we start out with a couple pumps of matte foundation. All right, we got our matte foundation. Now it's time to add the eyeshadow. Are you ready for some eyeshadow destruction? Ooh, how satisfying is that? Or is it just completely horrifying? I guess it just depends. Oh my God, my cats think I'm feeding them because they hear the aluminum sound that sounds like a can of cat food. They're both standing right underneath the camera. So in this DIY, she added some vitamin E to make the lipstick moisturizing. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Again, this was not really a recipe that had exact measurements. She also added a little bit of coconut oil, so I'll just scrape a little bit inside. Oh my gosh, I almost feel like we might have too much liquid foundation for not enough lipstick color, so hopefully I didn't screw the pooch. It's just a little bit lighter than I intended it on being, so next time if I try this again, I might start out with a little bit less foundation and add more if I feel that the consistency needs it. So here's a preliminary swatch. That's gonna be really, really pretty. Okay, I feel like that's as much as we can harvest from this batch. We got our lipstick. So now that we have all the DIY makeup made, let's go put it on my face. All right, first thing we're gonna put on is the foundation. This is probably what I'm most nervous about, so glad we can kind of get it out of the way, but when we swatched it earlier, there was just kind of a weird greeny cast to it. So basically, because we have it in this little container, I'm just gonna take it with my finger and swipe it on. And we'll see how much we can blend this out with a sponge. Oh no. Why is this so much darker? Did it like oxidize or something? Oh no. Oh dear. What the heck? Okay, I'm gonna try rubbing it in now. Oh no, it's like pilling up. Oh no, it's getting everywhere. This was definitely a fail. I don't know if it was a combination of the fact that I used like a very thick kind of sunscreen moisturizer as the base. I could have also put a little too much cornstarch in there, which I think is what's happening as far as the texture. But overall, like this is doing nothing. It is literally just sitting on top of my face. Yeah, we're just gonna take this off because it's not even doing anything. Hopefully we have better luck with the rest of the products. I also feel like the texture may have like thickened after being in that container for a while because it was definitely more liquidy when we put it in. Let's move on to eyeliner. So I didn't really make a lot of this just because of the method used. It didn't have a lot of yield, but hopefully we have enough to put it on both eyes. All right, so I'm just taking a little angled brush, gonna dip in. It had a real weird consistency. Hold on, it's just kind of a weird, I don't know. All right, let's see how this goes. It's like half working. I feel like the actual pigment is not as dark as it looks. It's more like a brown, almost henna looking appearance. But there's definitely almond grounds happening within the formula. Can you see that? Will any of these products end up working? It's definitely not as bad as the foundation, but I don't necessarily want to go out with this on my face. This is bad. This is real bad. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe we spent so much time making these products and they're all just utter garbage. Yeah, okay, that's about as much as we're gonna get. Another fail! But we'll keep it on our face, you know, for the purposes of the video. Gonna go ahead and curl my lashes for what I'm kind of the most excited to test out, which is that homemade almond mascara. So we actually got a lot of this mascara. I'm just taking a little lone mascara wand. You can get this at beauty supply stores. And I guess we're just gonna like dip into it. So when we put this in here, it was like super liquidy, and now it's almost completely solid. Okay, so I think I got some product on the mascara wand. Let's see how this works. Also, I'm getting real tired of the burnt almond smell. Real tired of it. Oh, ooh, okay. Definitely see some darkening and maybe some separating. Not sure really if it's making a huge difference though. On my bottom lashes, it's kind of doing something. I mean, it's clearly not like a really dramatic effect, but I think if you had lighter lashes, this could definitely darken them up. I do see a difference when I do the bottom lashes, so it must be doing something. But I'm also ending up with like random chunks of almond in my lash. I don't know, I kind of think this is working, just very subtly. Okay, so I really don't think this one was that much of a fail. It's just not, you know, like a Maybelline mascara. Like I said, I think if you have blonde lashes, you'll get like a deeper color, and I do see a little bit of separating and maybe some thickening as well, but it's not gonna make a big flared effect or anything. All right, let's move on to the bronzer. So this is what it looks like, and I will admit it's still a tiny bit wet, but I need to get this video filmed, so we're just gonna go for it. Now, hopefully it looks okay even though I don't have any foundation on. Okay, we're getting something. Definitely smells like chocolate. Honestly, like, it works. Does it look great? No. Could probably get a little bit more out of it had I waited for it to completely dry. But also the shade is very warm. Future Miranda here with an update. I let the bronzer dry overnight just to see if maybe it would have worked out better had I let it dry completely before using. And this is what it looks like. It like cracked and no pigment comes off of it. So yeah. Well, that's a look. Yeah, so it's kind of patchy. Let's move on. I'm very excited to try this lavender highlighter that I created. I feel like this might be the win of the whole experiment. Oh yeah, that's so pretty. Okay, see, like this, I would actually use. It's just like this nice iridescent lavender kind of highlight. So the highlighter, a win. Something that I would actually use. Am I gonna be like creating my own highlighters from now on? Probably not. It was a lot of work, but you know, it was a fun little experiment. Okay, last up, I am also very excited to try on the lipstick. I think that this was probably the most promising of all of the DIY recipes. I'm just curious about how it will actually apply to my lips and dry down as well. Okay, let's go in. It definitely has like a moussey liquid lipstick consistency. So let's see how this goes. Ooh, oh, it reads a lot more beige on the lips. I probably added way too much foundation, but it's like almost a grayish. That's interesting. It came out very, very dusty mauve. I could have probably left out some foundation and it would have come out a little bit deeper. It feels okay on my lips, a little bit powdery because of the matte foundation I use. This is kind of the formula, but it does not feel tight, probably because of the coconut oil and vitamin E. So this one is a DIY that I may repeat just to like test out different colors. Honestly, like, I don't think that's all that bad. So all in all, this DIY makeup experience has been interesting. I felt like it was a lot of work for products that didn't really live up to how they were presented in the original videos. No tea, no shade to those who made the original videos. There definitely could have been differences that made my products turn out a lot differently than the originals, such as different brands of ingredients I was using and, you know, different choices that I made in terms of the products I was putting into the DIYs. But all in all, it really was not worth it. The coolest thing we did today was definitely the lipstick formula. I think it's the one that looks the best and I would probably do again. The highlight was also a nice surprise. I think it came out really well. well. Am I gonna make it again? Probably not, or at least not with the two products that I mixed for this particular one, because those were such a pain to get out of the original packaging. So this is kind of fun testing out DIYs. If you want me to test out any other beauty recipes, leave them in the comments below. If you like this video, hit thumbs up. I'm kind of trying to do some more out of the box creative videos for you all versus just the run-of-the-mill tutorials review. So let me know how I'm doing. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, become the newest member of the Slashed Squad, and don't forget to hit the bell icon, turn on video notifications so you know every time a new one goes live. If you don't engage in this video in any way, then YouTube will start filtering me out of your subscription page, even if you do subscribe to me. So fight the man and click the bell. I'll see you in my next one. Bye!